Hey YouTube, this is my new Milwaukee battery-powered chainsaw. It's going to replace my Stihl MS-180C. Here's some of the great things about this. If I plug a battery in and I want to start it, I just push that button and pull the trigger. Nothing to it. This one, I want to start it, I have to pull. There we go. And then I got to do it again. I got to let off on the gas and then and there's the noise. Compared to much less noise. When you are using this and you're done cutting something, you have to go shut it off. Say I'm done cutting, I have to take my finger off and shut that off, otherwise the blade can still be going. Here, it's off. And with the gas-powered one, obviously, you need to go to the gas station and mix gas and oil together. With this one, you just plug this into the wall, charge the battery. You can have multiple batteries. That's a huge convenience. You do have to put bar oil in both of these saws. It was really easy with this one because anytime you put gas in, you put oil in. With this one, I have run this for a little bit and I still seem to have full oil. There's an oil gauge here, but I'm going to fill it up with oil because I'm changing my batteries again. Both saws have a chain brake. One of the big disadvantages, which is a huge advantage of Stihl, is the ability to remove your bar or tighten your chain toollessly with this. You just unscrew that and that loosens this, and then you can change the tightness with here. Sometimes I've gotten my bar stuck and I've actually been able to take it off, slide the bar out once the tension was removed, and get it out of the tree. With this one, you need a tool and you tighten the chain there. The tool is included and it's right here, but if you can get this out, I'll be shocked, because I've tried several times to pull that out with my hand and I can't do it. I need something else. I don't have a screwdriver right now, but I do have a tripod, so let me try to pry this up with a tripod. You do have the tool included, but getting it out is almost impossible. So if you need to tighten your chain or loosen it, you would just unloosen these two bolts here and then use a screwdriver, which is included, to change the chain tension. Now I'm going to put this back in, and it's just too tight to actually use. I was quite hesitant to get this saw because it is so much bigger than this saw. However, when I used it, it was fine. When I was in Home Depot, I was like, man, this saw is enormous. 33 inches long, 28 inches long, so it's 5 inches longer. The blade is longer too, probably a 14-inch blade, and this blade I think is a 16-inch. Yep. The Milwaukee weighs 11 pounds, 4 ounces without a battery. Okay, the Stihl chainsaw weighs 11 pounds, 10 ounces. Another thing is the guard on my Stihl falls off all the time. I had to drill a hole in here, hook a bungee cord up to here in order to try to keep it on. I do a lot of mountain bike trail maintenance, and I'd be out hiking on the trails and I'd be walking along with this in my backpack, and this would fall right off. This seems to slide on much more securely. I can't even get it on. So there it's on. Pretty good. So the reason I went with the Milwaukee chainsaw over the Stihl chainsaw was because I already had a bunch of tools, Milwaukee tools, and they're fantastic. And I also had a charger and several batteries, but none of these batteries are the high output batteries. And I watched several videos where people showed how great the Milwaukee chainsaw cut, but they're all using high output batteries. And nobody ever said you need high output batteries, but you do, because the non-high output batteries will overheat when you cut through a very big log. Another reason I went with the Milwaukee chainsaw was Home Depot right now has a Father's Day special going on where if you buy 3 Milwaukee tools, you get $100 off. If you buy 2, you get $50 off. So I not only bought the chainsaw, I bought the hedge trimmer, and I bought a weed whacker and pole saw combo and got $100 off. The only chainsaw that was kind of comparable to the Milwaukee was this steel chainsaw, and it only comes with a 12-inch long bar, and it's $749. A kind of similar setup from Milwaukee with their higher capacity 12 amp hour battery is $449. Another thing that's great about this is if you're doing some trail work, maybe in a place where you need to be a little bit quiet, this saw is nice and quiet. So that little bit of cutting did run my 3.0 amp hour battery down to 2 bars, or about half full. The next day I went out with both of my 3.0 amp hour batteries and did some more work. After all that, I decided that the whole damn tree had to come down because I didn't want those 2 pieces hitting anyone in the head over time, because I'm sure that tree is coming down. It's coming out of the ground on the far end over there. The saw seems a little grabby, like not such a smooth cutting saw. It might be just the chain. My old chain is probably pretty dull, so it might feel a lot smoother and not grabby. But this one, especially when you're cutting on the top of the saw, cutting with the top of the saw, it seems to be kind of grabby. a lot of times I have to walk quite long distances between places I have to cut, and I carry my chainsaw in on the outside of a backpack with a little strap holding the handle, and I put two other straps around the saw blade. So I cut everything that you saw so far with my 3.0 amp hour battery, which is not too bad, but there was a pretty good gap between times when I would cut. Now I came to this larger log in the trail and started cutting it, and the first 3.0 amp hour battery quit working. I assume it was out of juice. However, I was able to put it in later and do more, but here I'm switching to the other battery that hasn't been used yet. So somewhere around here, battery number 2 overheated, and the battery was making a flashing kind of indication. And I didn't know what that was, but I found out a little later, I think. So I just got back to the car, and I realized I forgot to close the flap on my backpack, and my battery must have fallen out, so I'm going to go back and try to find it. So this is kind of interesting. When I was sawing and this one quit, which I thought it quit awfully early compared to the other one, the lights were blinking on and off. Like 2 of these would go, and then 2 of those would go, and then 2 of these would go, and 2 of those would go. When I checked the battery just wouldn't work. So when I push the button now, I have 2 bars. So I suspect it overheated. I don't think it ran out of juice. So the bottom line is, I think it's a pretty good saw. If you're going to saw anything substantial, you're going to need their high output batteries. Thanks for watching.